Hello once again, folks. If you're joining us, this is Customizing the Clone Wars, episode 16. It is what we call our season 2, and it is going to go into or coincide with Clone Wars season 2, which is called Rise of the Bounty Hunters. But before we go into that, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Chad Peak, aka Peak Obi-Wan, and I am your host. Along with me, I have Elias and Darth Daddy from Customs for the Kid, and they are my co-hosts. How you guys doing?
Doing well. We're doing all right.
Awesome. You got a little Sabine hair going there, Elias. I like it.
Yeah. I dyed a little bit of it blue.
Very cool. You guys ready to talk about some Clone Wars season 2?
Right? Oh yeah.
Hunters? Yeah. So we took a week off last week, and we're going to just reintroduce ourselves. If you haven't seen our show, we do a custom show based on the Clone Wars, and we are customizers, and we like to do some unsung heroes, right? We like to do some customs.
You just froze for a really long time.
Yeah, you're still froze also, but we're back. We are back. All right, folks, like I was saying, customizing the Clone Wars, we're doing customs. And we have just been huge fans of the show, right? How long have you been a fan, Elias?
Oh, gosh, probably since I was 4.
From the start. I mean, we saw it pretty much. We saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
And we started watching episode 1 right from day one. Like when that show premiered, we watched it that day.
Yeah, it was like the thing it was like our lifestyle until it was sadly canceled.
Yeah. And we did 15 episodes of Customizing the Clone Wars, where we talked about season 1 and the theatrical release, and that was fun. We showed a bunch of our customs, both yours and mine, and we actually gave shout outs to people who we feel excel in customizing and who are our friends and have just really given to the hobby as well, right?
Yeah. We got to see someone who made a Twilight. We ended up I'm trying to think some of the other ones we did. What else did we show? I think we showed some of J0 droid.
We showed that awesome just that worm. The worm from Rookies.
Oh, the Rishi Eel by Jedi Jeff. That one.
Yeah, the Rishi Eel. Man, that thing was incredible, man. Priceless.
I really like that one. I wish if that thing articulates, I'll be like, does it articulate? Or is it like a statue?
It's made out of foam, so I'm sure it probably. I don't know how flexible that foam is.
Yeah, it was bendy.
If it's like one of those like plushies that has like the wire in it that like articulates, that would be like my dream.
Oh, that would be a cool plush.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
I would dig that.
Yeah, so this time around, we're going to be talking about season 2, and before we go into that, season 1 ended on just such a high note, and it had this. It felt great, and the show was totally awesome, and you were ready for more, right?
Oh yeah, I was kind of disappointed when the season ended because I was looking forward. I found myself looking forward to the next episode every week.
Yeah.
Right, and we had to wait, just like Rebels, we have to constantly wait for it. But they came correct when they decided they were going to put a theme on season 2. And that was called Rise of the Bounty Hunters. Yes, and let me share that real quick.
I really like that season because you really get introduced to like the shady characters of the Star Wars universe.
Right, the underworld, right?
Like when they're saying Rise of the Bounty Hunters, are we supposed to assume that bounty hunters weren't as prevalent prior to the Clone Wars? Was that like an environment maybe where they
I was
had the
thinking
ability
maybe
to thrive, or?
when they say Rise of the Bounty Hunters, I was thinking more just like that's when the crew actually started to think about using bounty hunters in their episodes. I don't think it was actually. I'm pretty sure that bounty hunters were just as prevalent prior to.
Yeah, we got a little taste with the season finale, didn't we? We got a little taste, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That busting Zero out of jail.
Yeah, I mean, those guys were effective in Hostage Crisis. And if you have not seen our show, we are going to do everything in order, not in the order of how the episodes are supposed to go. If you've seen the Clone Wars, which I hope you have, because we're going to be spoiling it like crazy for you, we're going to be doing it in the order that each season brought it out, and we got a little taste in the season finale of season 1, and they came correct, like I said, at one of the celebrations, and they shared this image that I'm showing here, and just people went nuts. There was also an accompanying video, and oh man, do you remember that? It was like,
yeah,
it was
I
like
actually have the CD for that Rise of the Bounty Hunters promo that they did.
Right.
It was like a little DVD. Do you have that?
I have it, but I don't have it with me right now.
Yeah, didn't it come in the Robinino set?
Yes. So they just really came correct. Like I said, they really brought it. And they teased us, with this bounty hunters thing. I mean, seeing Bosk right there, and then seeing the episode 1 favorite, Aura Singh, right? I mean, yep. we're like, oh my goodness, we're finally
going to see Cad Bane at the center, and
yeah.
Who is this guy? To him. Well, we saw him in the last episode of season 1.
Yeah, but I think we were wondering who the heck is this guy? Who we knew he was a Duros, or people of Cantina fame, right?
Yep.
Oh man, I love the Duros. I think they are just the coolest alien, and I don't know. What do you think, Elias? You think they're going away from rubber masks in TFA? Do you think they're making fun of it? You think they like the aliens from Star Wars, or do you think they like their own stuff?
Wait, Disney or?
Yeah, Disney.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
the new management.
Well, I really think they're starting to ditch all the old stuff, which is kind of sad, because I feel like those certain species are the things that we really learned to bond with, the things that we memorized, and when they change it and make everything different, it's kind of like it's weird, it's different, it's hard to get used to.
Yeah, you miss it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if only we could get one of those cantina scenes that was actually like the cantina scene. I mean, I understand that Maz Kanata's was supposed to resemble that, but it didn't properly catch that vibe. You didn't really get to see the characters, people on set as much as you got to in The New Hope.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Well, hopefully we'll get something in Rogue One, right? Some familiar aliens.
We already saw the Mon Calamari, so.
Yeah, he was chubby.
Yeah.
Chubby Mon Calamari.
Yep. Well, all right. Before we go into the actual episode that we're going to be covering tonight, which is called Holocron Heist, one of the things that was really cool about season 1 to season 2 and how they bridged that was the Wii. The Nintendo Wii was really popular at the time, and they went into this game called Republic Heroes. And have you ever played that game before?
I actually have it for the PC.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I never had it. We don't actually. We're one of the rare American families. We don't have. Well, he has a game system at his mom's. He doesn't have one yet.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I ever got a gaming system, we would have never become customizers, because he would have been like, sitting there tapping the controller like crazy, and he would have never gotten to,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I actually have this game myself, and I do have it on Nintendo Wii. I'm not a real big gamer per se. It's just at the time, I thought this was kind of cool because it was kind of immersive. What they said was that this game was going to bridge the gap between season 1 and season 2. So I was sold immediately when they said that. Regardless,
at my parents' house, they have an Xbox, and just for something to do while we were there, I bought it for Xbox too.
Wow.
So I actually have a PC and an Xbox version.
Yeah. So I bought it for the Wii, like I said, and I just started playing it. It definitely has some bugs and whatnot.
You can freeze.
Yeah, and you fall off and you die a lot, but
yeah.
I guess the fun was going through it, and you saw all these different animatics and whatnot, immersive animatics. You had like scenes, cut scenes that were within the game, and you played out this whole scenario, right? And 2 of the characters that were in there, these were like the first times. I just showed this guy here with the jetpack. It's Boomer, and then this other guy is Kano. And that's going to lead me into my first customs of the night. I just did a couple repaints with these guys. And there's Kano again. And this is my custom of Kano. I'm not sure. Do we see him without his helmet on? I know we see Boomer without his helmet on, but I don't think we see Kano.
I don't think I got that far in the game.
Is that right?
I played it like once or twice.
I just sat and watched. I was like,
yeah, I don't know if we ever got like we brought it to my dad's to play, but I think then we got called up to dinner or something, and then I'm the oldest of 7, so I have a lot of siblings, and it's easy to get distracted and pulled away.
Yeah, I just had to play this thing. I would fall and die all kinds of ways.
Yeah,
I had to play this game until it's finished. You know what I'm saying?
I think I watched it from beginning to end once on YouTube, like someone who was like playing, and you got to watch the scenes, and that's how because I kind of wanted to watch like the movie end of it, like all the cut scenes, so I could like understand at least the story and about Kolteska. And when they released Toys R Us did that exclusive and they released them as a figure, it made me curious and made me want to like learn more about it. And
of course.
I actually got the Kolteska right here.
Of course, we get all the exclusives, but that was when we were very.
Yeah, there's the Kolteska here. The only difference on the grappling hook on here, that's not really from there, but that's the that was
so you
the main villain of the game.
Customized the handle. Tell us about that.
Yeah, way back, like right when I first got him, because he had this grappling hook hand in the game, and he didn't come with that. He only had the gun on the front, but he didn't have the grappling hook that came out of it. So
this is the boss. This is the final boss that you fight in the game. And I actually had, and he was amazing too. I like how it was an immersive thing. But back to what I was sharing here. Thank you for that. It was like a string. I know he has a move where he shoots his grappling hook out, and the cable wraps around like a crate of some sort, and he swings it around, and he literally throws it at you and whatnot.
Exactly.
So that's totally cool. That's totally cool. I'll go back to my.
Kolteska was super OP. Like
He was what?
OP, overpowered. Like it was impossible to beat the dude.
Yeah.
Because he's like shield generators, like protecting him. He's got all his grappling hooks, guns, like huge.
Another wild bounty hunter, right?
He was a bounty hunter?
Yeah, he was a bounty hunter and a cyborg. I think he had a past with Cad Bane. Definitely in the game, he has some lines with Cad Bane, and we see Cad Bane in the game as it plays out.
I definitely didn't get that far.
Yeah, you see him in the end. He's kind of funny. He just has some funny lines and whatnot. But
That's pretty cool.
so there's one.
I still have it. It makes me want to play it now.
Yeah, for sure. You should just play it out once. And there were other different types of characters. If you've ever been to my Facebook page, which I will share later on, this is a clone crew tech or a flight tech, and they actually, they change the color of the way he looks, and you can actually play as this character as well. And here's the other guy. This is Boomer. He's cool too. He's like an ARF trooper. And I made one of him also. I just made like a paint job of him. I didn't add the other elements and whatnot, but like I said, it was just pretty much a simple repaint of those two characters. They're kind of the labeled, if you will, clone troopers. And there's Carl Teska from the game, if you can see that there. So he did have kind of a weird claw.
Yeah, he did.
On the front of it. You see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally cool. Totally
cool. It makes me want to grab that and you were just talking about that grappling hook from Unkar Plet that you were just saying.
Yeah, right? Yeah, for anybody who was collecting TFA stuff, we got a real treat with that 5 POA Unkar Plet, where you take his arm off, and there's actually you can actually put a claw, and Darth Daddy has it available there, and it actually articulates on the feet, doesn't it?
Yeah, this whole thing here opens and closes.
That's cool.
It looks kind of big though. I don't know if see how big it would be in relation to
yeah. Just an idea, of course.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you took it from here and then just reduce some of the flanges, it might work, and it wouldn't be as big.
Yeah, and that's what we do. We kind of come up with ideas. Then not all of them are perfect, right?
No, but I mean, you really could reduce this severely and then make it so it would be, the right size.
For sure.
I would say that I would call this workable.
For sure. Well, heck. So that was the game. I just wanted to share that real fast because that had come out as a way of bridging the gap into season 2. So let's get into the first episode, shall we? And that is called Holocron Heist. And I'm going to read the little blurb, the little preface about the episode in the episode guide. I always share this in each episode. It says, after disobeying orders on the battlefield, Ahsoka is assigned to help strict Jedi Jocasta Nu in the Jedi archives, but her dull punishment proves eventful. Bounty hunter Cad Bane, his droid Toto 360, and a shapeshifter Cato Parasiti break into the Jedi Temple in a plot to steal an ancient Jedi holocron. Awesome. That is awesome. So who likes fortune cookies?
I do. I love fortune cookies even though they taste like air.
They do not. They have like a nice vanilla flavor.
They still taste like air.
I love
Well, this is a different kind of fortune cookie. And it says a lesson learned is a lesson earned. There they go rhyming again, right?
Oh, boy.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. It makes it feel like a children's show.
I'm okay with it. Star Wars is a children's.
I guess we need to share. We need to share with people. We need to share.
Star Wars isn't supposed to grow up with us.
Like, I know.
Be an all ages event.
Well, I feel like Clone Wars grew up with its audience. Because in season 1,
yeah, but we still had the younglings searching for their lightsaber crystals.
Yeah, and then you have D-Squad.
And yeah.
So, what do you think about that? A lesson learned is a lesson earned.
It means that if you learned it, you took the time and it's effort that went into learning that, And
No, sometimes we learn things without effort, but we still earned a hard lesson sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always talking about patience too, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we go into this awesome, right away, we go into kind of a pseudo blockade kind of thing. You know, they had a blockade on Felucia.
Is that Warthog?
This is Warthog, and you know what?
That was a cool Hasbro release.
Have this guy in my collection.
You don't?
Not even at all. No, because
we have him.
Didn't he come with a kind of a mini
A
rig?
Y-wing bomber.
Yeah, Y-wing bomber. It was kind of a little mini rig, you know. Maybe a great way.
Same thing that they use for Kanan now.
Yeah.
It's the same, same ship.
To present the character, but I ended up not getting it because I didn't really like that ship, I guess.
Yeah.
I suppose I got picky over time, you know?
Yeah. It doesn't have a very strong canon feel, you know. It definitely has that, you know, Hasbro mini rig, but that said, I do like the ship. I mean,
yeah. But
there's worse stuff.
Yeah, he's flying a V-turret fighter again, and they break through to Felucia because they're going to get Anakin and Obi-Wan's group off the planet, and they're trying to defend it, but they know that they're going to be beat. So, who likes Easter eggs? We're gonna jump right into an Easter egg. You see anything interesting about this
board?
About this picture?
Is it the board behind him, like the lit up board?
Reminds you Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah, on Hoth, how they had that nice big board with all the nice lines on it.
I love this little room, but yeah, it's actually not that. It's the officer. If you notice, check his eye out.
Oh, Wolf.
It's Wolf. It's Wolf again. So we get to see Wolf, and now sometime between episode 1 and episode 2, he lost his eye. He actually lost his eye. So that's my Easter egg. I mean, he kind of turns his head. I guess I could have had a little bit better picture, but you actually see that it's Wolf in his officer outfit, and you actually have a custom to share for us, don't you?
Yeah. Sorry. Can you see everybody?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Sorry for all the other screen share stuff you got there, but yeah, I have to reorganize everything and get everything back in place because I was stopping all the videos that were playing.
Yeah. So what did you do here? Just explain to us real quick what you did with this custom.
All right. So I took I guess it was the phase 2, the one that had the antenna coming off the shoulder. I grabbed the head from that. I threw her on the Yularen body, and I took away the rank insignia to make it where it needed to be. So I guess there was an extra ribbon underneath the 30. I think it had 2, and I just had to cut it off with a razor blade, sand it a little bit. And for the head, I stuck a little bit of glue from a glue gun because it's removable, so it doesn't actually damage the head. And with the glue gun, it makes it such a nice, snug fit that you could shake it upside down and the head won't come off, and you could trim away the excess very easily. That's my favorite way to make a head fit, is with the glue gun.
Are you saying you use hot glue and then you put the head on it, or how does that work?
What I'll do is, like, when you have you take the head, you turn it upside down, you have the hole, I guess, the empty hollow spot that you'd snap onto the neck peg.
Right.
I'll just take the glue gun and I'll shoot a little bit of hot glue into that hole, and then before it dries, I'll just stick it up onto the neck peg, and it forms a perfect seal. And then once it dries, you just take a razor blade and you cut off whatever excess is there, so it doesn't stick out underneath the jawline or anything.
Wow.
You never tried that?
Not yet. No. I'd like to try it. Yeah.
It's awesome. It works wonderfully.
That's cool. I don't necessarily use hot hot glue guns, but that's certainly something you can add to your arsenal of tools, for your customizing hobby. I just found out, I shared this on my Facebook page the other day. My Dremel broke after 20 years. So been customizing 20 years. It's been fun. It's been, I finally got a new one that I liked. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
It's working for me. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So
yes, that's a very necessary tool. Like I feel like the Dremel opened up so many doors for customizing. I never realized how important a tool it was until I got one.
right. I didn't have one at first, and I just was cutting everything with X-Acto knives and cutting basically my fingers off. Or you find ways with the Dremel or with a rotary tool to do cool things like cut torsos, cut legs, and whatnot, sand things down. It's definitely a must, like Darth Danny said. So let's go right back into the episode. I will keep moving it here. I know I'm just doing a little talking tonight.
Yeah, we took a week off, so
Yeah.
We had a whole week of having the whole thing. We had 2 weeks of build up before we got here.
Yeah. It's gonna be exciting. We got a lot of cool things on the way. So next we will move away from the Easter egg, and here they finally land on Felucia. And wouldn't this be great to make? This is a variant on the gunship, and you see one of those awesome nose arts, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what that
I have
says?
that in the kitchen right now, the one that you sent me.
Yeah, here's a little trivia for you, Elias. Do you know what that says in that writing right there? Do you see that writing I'm showing there?
Yeah, let's find out. I don't know what it says. I can tell you right now. Oh.
I'll save you the trouble. It says, it basically says, "Close bros."
That's so funny.
That's
Close
awesome.
bros. And they have all kinds of cool nose arts. They're amazing. Yeah. They're definitely amazing. So all right, we'll move it along here. So here we are on Felucia, and here's a first. Also, we see the Juggernaut, the turbo tank, right?
Those things are awesome. I have one back there.
Yeah, you have that thing? That's cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my mom got it for him for Christmas.
Yeah, that used to be like my grandma's big thing. Like every year for Christmas, she would get me the big Star Wars thing that year.
The BV, right? The big vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The BMF.
The big vehicle this year.
Yeah.
The AT-AT.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. For Rogue One.
Oh.
Yeah.
The AT-AT.
Yeah. So
I was talking about the other. I was talking about the other AT-AT.
It's a cargo transport.
I was talking about like the AT-AT that had like the big parachute.
Yeah, it's the one.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
depressing.
On Felucia, we find out that that Ahsoka doesn't want to go. That she tries to not listen to anybody, and she gets busted, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she thinks she's whipping
Invincible.
butt. Yeah, she thinks she's got him on the run, and she's about to win the battle. And due to the tree line and the way the geography is there, she has no idea that she's actually surrounded and she's about to get everybody wiped out. And Anakin and Obi-Wan come in at the last minute, and they make everybody get onto the gunships. They fly out of there, and before you know it, she's sitting in the middle of the Jedi Council, getting reprimanded.
Yeah, and she even scoffs at her punishment.
Oh yeah,
yeah. She was like duty. Yeah, she's like guard duty for how long? And then Mace Windu is like looking at like longer now.
Yeah, longer now. I love that. It's so funny. Yeah, so she gets obviously she has to go and do archive duty, or what is it that she has to do?
She just has to pretty much protect the library.
Yeah, guard duty. So here we meet a character from Attack of the Clones, and her name is Jocasta Nu. Look at that profile, right? Unbelievable. Where have we seen that person, that likeness, right?
Sheev Palpatine.
Right. It looks like Palpatine, man. Like they used
The same
asset. They just put a wig on him.
And they got rid of those arching eyebrows. She's
Right.
eyebrowless.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like Mona Lisa. She's got no eyebrows.
Yeah. So one of the things we definitely came up with, you can talk about this a little bit. You're gonna actually attempt to make this gal, aren't you?
Yeah, I worked out a deal with a guy in Germany, and he's sending me a Jocasta Nu to use, but I don't know. I sent my figure to him. I don't know if he shipped his yet. I sent him an email today to say like, hey, did you ship the figure yet? I haven't heard anything back. But yeah, if I do get to do a Jocasta Nu, you all have to thank Bumper Morgan for hooking me up and getting me a figure.
Cool. So you're going to change it a little bit, right? Well, tell me about that process real quick.
So I'm just gonna take one of the years ago I ended up cutting off the head of a Clone Wars Palpatine, and I made a mold of the neck and of his head, what was underneath the hood. I ended up using a heat gun, and I was able to remove that hood from the head. Then you found out that there's ears. I mean, pretty much everything's there but the hair, and you just have to put some hair in. So since I have that mold, I could pour a Palpatine cast, and then take that Palpatine cast, sand off the eyebrows, and basically just sculpt on the hair, and then I could grab parts of a gun or something just to make those chopsticks that go inside of her hair, and something with a skinny barrel or something. And then from there I'll probably I was looking, like, her dress really bells out in the Clone Wars. I think I could pull like what I did with the Palpatine in the maroon outfit, and just use the realistic dress and body, because everything else, she has the big flowing. I was looking, she has the big flowing sleeves. I can use the same hands, and all I have to do is put on that Palpatine head and neck, and I'll have to sand the Adam's apple off the neck. So
of course, right.
So she doesn't have that, but if I just put that neck down into there, I was hoping she had a ball joint, and I could just swap the neck post. Swap the heads on the neck post. Unfortunately, she does not have a ball jointed neck. So that's why I had to do a whole new figure, because
you'll just have to make one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we're moving on here, and we see that the plot thickens, and that enter Cad Bane once again. So now we see in season 2 he's getting another job. This is essentially the introduction to one of the first bounty deals or shady deals that we're going to do, and the bounty is actually for a holocron, right? So here we have had Cad Bane in his apartment, and he is talking to, who is he talking to? He's talking to Sidious. Right?
Oh yeah.
Sidious, right? Do you want to show him real fast?
Yeah, I guess I did. Let me just I have to do the share first. Hold on. I did that. So when I cut the head off, I did all that so I can make some Palpatines as a Chancellor and like different outfits. That way, I just I understand why Palpatine probably never got released in the Clone Wars line, but they're probably worried about him being a peg warmer. But at the same time, he would, like, for a Clone Wars enthusiast. And when you throw a customizer into the mix, it's like, yeah, I'm making them.
I would have wanted him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can always send you more heads.
Yeah, especially in a holographic form. I would have loved to have had him, right?
Yeah.
holographic form, like a blue kind of translucent
I
plastic.
think it would probably have to be a statue, though. You would probably just have to take the entire figure and just like make a mold of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it would have to be a statue. You pour in like a clear resin with like a slate blue dye added to it.
Mm-hmm.
I would just spray paint the sucker. Yeah, with blue spray paint. Like all right, so you see what's on the screen right now.
Yeah, you could.
I would just stand them.
Mhm.
I'd spray paint them blue.
But it
Yeah.
has to be like translucent. It's a hologram.
It doesn't have to be translucent. It could be milky. It could be opaque and blue.
Yeah. You could. You could.
I mean, they released some Clone Wars figures where, even though I guess it was like they were opaque, you couldn't like hold them up and like see through them. Think of- No, I was thinking more. You remember like the Plo Koon and all those like Revenge of the Sith hologram figures that they put out, the Ayla Secura.
You know, you can see through all of those.
No, they weren't like glass. They were opaque.
Yeah, I would definitely want him if they made him a hologram. But after he gets off the phone or the hologram, after the hologram goes away, he accepts the offer to go, and he starts talking with his little buddy, his guy Toto 360, and what a cool little droid, right?
Yeah,
was awesome.
he's interesting.
Yeah, but this next character, which is also a bounty hunter and a shapeshifter, I don't normally do this, but I thought I had to do it because this is probably one of my all-time favorite characters, like ever, that Hasbro made. And this here, who is this, Elias?
What? Kato
Who's it?
Parasiti?
Yeah. She is probably one of my favorite toys of all time. I would say in my top 5, and
Really?
at least in my top 5, right? So
I think she was one of my favorite figures from the Clone Wars line for sure. She was just such a cool looking character.
I would
The
say
only complaint I would have is those little ammo packs on the side.
Mhm.
Thankfully, we never lost them because we're really particular about things and keep everything in order. But man, those were so easy to pop out.
Yeah. Just her overall beauty, just the deco on the pants, the articulation, the helmet thing, those little pockets. She just looked so amazing.
You know what I thought was really interesting?
What's that?
Like when you watch the episode, spoiler alert, in the end, she does not succeed, of course. When Ahsoka kicks her down and she shapeshifts back into her original form.
Yep, we'll get to that.
Like her attire goes back, and you can still see Jocasta-Nu's face in there for like a second. So it's
Slightly, right?
Jocasta-Nu's like wearing that, and then her face. So it's like her outfit changes, then her face does. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Jocasta-Nu like that.
Yeah, for sure. We'll talk about that here in a moment. This guy here, I think sometimes Cad Bane, he fails a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see in one of the up-and-coming episodes where he doesn't erase his log and on his ship log, and
Fails.
and this is also where I consider him failing because he tells Cato that this is a guy that he's eventually going to be going after. This guy I have sharing on the screen, this is Bala Rapal. He's a Jedi, and we'll see him next week. I have a custom that I'm going to be showing, so I will just tease that. But look at this. He has a dead person in his apartment.
It's like a dead guy in the corner. It's like, oh, that's completely normal to just have a dead guy in the corner named Ord Edison.
Yeah, that apartment must be stinking.
Oh yeah, that must be terrible.
Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna share this guy real quick.
Oh my god.
I actually didn't get to share it. Look at that.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. So
You wouldn't think you don't put the dead guy next to the window because people are gonna be like, "What the hell is that right there?"
Yeah.
What's
What's
the
this smell?
customizer who actually made that guy?
Was it Israel?
No, run. Well, March the 4th did, but the one I actually have one in my database.
You want to
there's
give
an
someone a
artist-
shout out?
Yeah, Rundown. He ended up making
Rundown.
one a couple of years ago, probably around the time that it had aired.
Well, let's see it, man.
All right, so are you guys seeing it right now?
Let's see here. Absolutely.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is his version. It looks like he used like real leather, you know, or probably pleather. I can tell by the weave underneath. It's pleather, but yeah, it looked like he probably used who's that guy on the skiff that drove the skiff for Jabba?
His name is Pote Snitkin.
Snitkin, right?
Pote Snitkin, yeah. He
Yeah, it looks
was
like he used the Poe Snitkin. I can't tell what the other parts are. No, what else he used, but
it looks like it's just his body, yet he removed the plastic outfit that he had on. You know, back then they just put basically plastic over the character and kind of finished him out. So he probably removed that, and I'm guessing he put on that Jedi robe. So thanks for sharing that. That's awesome.
no problem.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to go back to the episode real fast. And so here we have, there's a picture of Ord Innocence. And he runs into, or I'm sorry, Cato is able to shapeshift into this guy just by basically touching him. And she is confronted by Ahsoka because Ahsoka's so bored, and she's like, look, leave me alone, because she has a mission. She's basically going to act as kind of Mission Impossible, kind of, I'm gonna knock down any barriers that are gonna pop up for Cad Bane and Toto, right? So
I have a question. So can Cato Parasiti, can that type of alien, can they shift from like male to female and female to male?
yeah, probably.
That's what I would think, right? Because
Yeah,
I know the hologram projector probably covers their clothes, so
right.
they can
Yeah,
change clothes, but the actual biology, it seems like almost they could change from male to female, or
I'm assuming they can change into anything they touch.
Behind the changeling
Yeah.
just doesn't make sense, people. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah. So here we have Cad Bane and Toto, and check out what Toto's doing there. He has kind of he has some jets going on. I know you made a custom of this, and I actually made one myself.
You did?
Yeah, I just I don't have it up here. It's down in my collection room. I am actually a collector, but you're sharing it right now, aren't you? Talk about that.
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah, when I made mine, the only thing I had to do, let me see. All right. So yeah, when I made mine, I basically just took this Yoda statue, and if you look over here, are you guys seeing the statue that I'm talking about?
Yep.
The hologram piece?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this piece underneath the pedestal, I just took that, I cut it out, and then I reshaped it a little bit with the Dremel, just to give it a more pointy shape. But that's all I really took on that one.
Wow.
So yeah.
You know what I ended up using for mine? I ended up using the jets from the R2. I cut the jets off the R2.
Oh, that's cool.
For the legs, and I actually glued them. I glued them onto the feet. And what I did is I gave him a post that he can basically hover on. Gosh, I should have brought that up. I don't want to run down there because it's all the way down in my basement and everything. Yeah. So you have another version of him, and he actually has like several different modes, right?
Yeah, the one with the wheel, I think they only showed it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, he like rolls in through the ventilation shaft. Bane is crawling next to him. Kind of rolls in for 1 second.
Yeah.
Or two,
And
maybe.
that's probably the only time you see him with the wheel. And for that, all you had to do is cut his feet off, glue them together at the center, and then, I think I had to cut the legs just to reposition them into that triangle. And then I took a lid of a Chinese food container and I just cut it into a circle, and then I glued those wheels to that, so that way it was almost like a translucent base, so he could stand, and like you could like wheel him around.
Very cool. That's awesome. That looks great.
Constantine looks like so crazy in that picture that you took. Like her eyes are just reflecting in the shadow.
Oh yeah, are you seeing it?
Showing makes her look like a demon from like a horror movie.
I did that just for you guys, man. If that's not the Emperor right there, I don't know what, right?
I know, right?
Yes, right. So further in the episode, Yoda feels through the Force that.
I just started thinking that, like, what if Palpatine is Jocastanu's mom?
What if he's Jocasta, right? Earlier in the show, when he's speaking on the hologram, he goes to Cad Bane. He goes, "Sorry for the interruption. There was some kind of interruption," and I thought for a moment to myself, I was like, "Oh my gosh, what if he was taking off his Jocasta new wig?" And putting on his robe. Sorry about the interruption.
That's how he gets all the inside dirt. Don't break my custom, please.
Right.
You're tweaking things. You're getting nervous.
So I decided I thought I'd show you this image real quick. She's just really mean. We find out that Ord Innocence is made, so she has to turn into the librarian, and I'm sure they did this mainly so we could see Jocasta fighting, right?
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's so cool. I was like, finally, the librarian gets her time in the limelight.
Yeah.
She's having a senior moment chasing the help.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did say that she's taking on the characteristics of Cato Parasiti, where she's kind of just hacking and slashing. She has no technique, so she's no match for Ahsoka whatsoever. So we will move it on, and here's that part you were talking about, Elias.
Yeah, like just a second before that, you can see Jocasta's face in there. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, she knows she's an imposter at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she captures her, and we find out that Cad Bane is actually still successful, with his mission.
Which kind of sucks.
Yeah, he actually gets one of the holocrons, which is some of the most important information in the Jedi Temple. It's very closely guarded and evolved. Only the best of the best, the Jedi Masters can go in there and whatnot. And he successfully stole this holocron, right? I love this. This is breaking the fourth wall. We see Toto come out of the...
it's funny. He's like, oh, hey, guys.
Yeah, hey, guys, right?
The access hatch works great.
And there's that. And he is voiced by Seth Green, and he did a great job with Toto. And we actually see Toto get blown up because Cad Bane actually put a bomb.
That was a bummer. I kind of like Toto. I didn't want to see him go.
Yeah.
Well, he comes back.
Right.
What?
He comes back later.
He does?
Yeah. That wasn't the end of Toto. We have not seen the last of Toto.
Yeah, but that was chronologically, that took place before what we're seeing now, because they were stealing the plan.
Oh, we just have to say that and make everything sadder. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, it is what it is, man. Yeah. Grow up.
That was the end of Toto, huh?
Life's sad.
Oh, so, why Toto?
Cad Bane decides he's going to leave he's just going to walk right on out.
Holding his holocron, which leads us to our next custom.
That's right. That's right.
All right, hold on.
That's right. So here we have Cad Bane with cloak on, right? A Jedi robe. We actually see him in this robe more than once, too. He uses it.
He's going to end up using it, like, is it next episode where he starts grabbing kids, or is the one after that?
Right. The next two episodes after this kind of connect with this episode. You know, he's not done yet. He's not
and to do this, I
done
just grabbed the
yet.
Jedi robe. I
Yeah.
sewed the sleeves. I turned the sleeves inside out. I sewed it shut. The sleeve, the sleeve hole shut. Then I went and cut with the scissors so it wasn't too bulky, and threw it. I sewed it. I did sew it in the front just to keep it closed a bit,
Yeah.
to make it sit more naturally. And then I, at first, I tried to use no sew, and it left a little bit of like a glue residue. So I had Elias just wash that off. And it was actually better for taking the picture to have the fabric just a little damp, because then it didn't like have that flyaway
Wet,
and really
right?
hug the body. So for people, I guess, whoever want to take photos of their work and they're worried about the soft goods not wrapping around the body well, maybe if you dampen them up right before taking your picture.
Hmm.
For people who don't seal their figures, it may not be the best idea. But if you're relatively comfortable with how sealed your figure is,
And
it's a suggestion that you could maybe take.
whose cloak is that?
I have a random bag of. It's probably like an Obi-Wan vintage. When I sewed it so it hugged the body. My great
Right.
grandfather was a famous tailor, so I
Is that
tried
right?
to channel his energies.
Cool. So you turn the sleeves inside out, right? You cut them off, right?
Yeah, I turned it inside out. I took the suggestion that you said you had done something like that with a Jedi Luke
Yeah.
for your Jabba display, and I remember you saying that. I was like, that's how I'm going to try and do it, and it worked really well.
Yeah, I know we're talking about Clone Wars, folks, but in customizing, we nitpick the most. I would say, wouldn't you say we are so critical when it comes
Yes,
to
we are evil.
the details, and we still have yet to get a proper Jedi Knight Luke cloak. I know he's not Clone Wars, but
Speaking
yeah.
of critical, I am realizing right now that the animators had some problems with the library screen share.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be little busts on every column in the front.
I think
Yeah.
in the main channel there is, but maybe if you move over to another aisle, it's not that way.
Yeah, that's probably his alternate hallway or something, and they probably didn't have the budget for it. That's most likely what it was.
Yeah, that too.
So soon they couldn't.
Right, but
They're not going to move Anakin's wooden hair. They're definitely not going to put a statue up in the library. I know what you're saying though. There was Dooku and who else was in there? There was a bunch of people, weren't there?
Oh yeah, there was all the Jedi who left the Order. What did they say? They had a number? Was it the 13 or the 12 or the 9 or?
It was the 12.
It was the 12. Okay, so Anakin was number 13.
Yeah. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah. So he goes and he just walks right on out. And here's what I'm talking about with that mistake. She turns around and she thinks, "Wow, I can get a reduced sentence. Maybe I'll tell them, where he's going." And she rolls around and she's like, "Bala Rapal." And they're like, "What?"
they're like, "What did you say?" And she's like, "Bala Rapal."
Yeah, what I loved about that is
Anakin,
he didn't know who he was, did he?
No.
He didn't even know who he was. I mean, there are Jedis all over the place, and we just don't know.
You gotta think the temple's huge. There's no chance.
Well, that's not. There's more than one temple.
Yeah, even that. Just think about it. There's no chance you could know every single Jedi out there.
Right. So she tries to get a little leverage on possibly a jail sentence or something like that. So she just goes and blurts out Bala Rapal's name, and the plot thickens from there. So that is pretty much the end of the episode, and that was it. It will definitely connect with the next two episodes. The next one is called Cargo of Doom, and then the one after that is Children of the Force, and they kind of go together. So we will end it right there. So what'd you think of that episode? Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a good episode. Really
Yeah, it was
good
a nice
episode.
intro. Now, did they say at the end of the episode what the significance of the holocron was, or did they introduce that information in the next episode?
No, they did. They did say at the end. They said that
It contains all the future Jedi.
That's correct. That's right. That's right.
Both
But it
depends on
needed.
Holocron.
Yeah, it needed a kyber crystal though too, didn't it?
Yeah,
He
it
was-
needed Baller Apollo's crystal, and then they needed a Jedi to open the holocron to interact with that crystal.
They're like puzzle boxes. I think they're definitely off of that movie Hellraiser.
I know, right?
Yeah, right.
They definitely move like it.
Holocrons. Yeah, they're like Pandora's box, if you will.
Yep.
We know Ezra in Rebels. He got the Sith holocron. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, only it's a little too late, but if you didn't watch Rebels, why are you watching this? Okay? There's gonna be spoilers everywhere, that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, like I said, all the content we talk about has been out for years.
Yeah.
I don't consider it's not a spoiler.
Yeah, so if you don't know if you don't know what we're talking about, where have you been?
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's always opportunities to get new people into the Clone Wars. I know it's on Netflix right now. How's your mom enjoying it? You said your mom.
Oh yeah, we're doing really good. We are racing through it. She's binge watching it. She loves it. We right now are on the episode Eminence, I think.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
you're
they're
way
doing
far. Way far.
I know, right? They really cook through.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
pretty
she
far.
likes it. Like once we start, we go until like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I'm like, should we stop here? She's like, maybe just one more episode, and then that turns into like 3 more episodes. So we all know how that ends.
Very good. All right, so that is our show. If you would like to check out my customs, you can find me on Facebook. That's Peak Obi-Wan Custom Creations. I encourage you to check them out. I just put a whole bunch of stuff up over the weekend. I usually share a lot of things over the weekend, not just Clone Wars stuff, but other stuff in the Star Wars universe. And I'm also on Clone Wars Custom Action Figures on Facebook. Where can we find you, sir?
www.customsforthekid.blogspot.com. You could also find me Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Google Plus, Tumblr, Instagram. I would recommend just going to the blog because you can get to all those places from the blog. And
yeah, you just celebrated your is it 6 years?
Yeah, we've had 6 years. I've
very cool.
Pretty much almost been doing this for more than half of my life.
Yeah, I know, because he's only turning 13, so yeah, he's been customizing for pretty much half his life. Just kind of crazy.
Awesome.
It's a great hobby, customizing gives you a chance to really do things how you want to do it. The freedom of customizing, that's why I do it, especially nowadays where we're not sure what we're going to get, right?
Well, the nice thing, we don't have to worry about Hasbro ever making Clone Wars figures because they don't have the license to do it. So for customizers, we don't have to worry about like making something and we find out the next week it's coming out. It's like, bad news. You don't notice that?
That's what pulls me.
That Rebel bike that you made, the Imperial one with the AT-DT
Don't
driver,
tell me.
it's coming out.
It's coming out, yeah.
If only you had a brick, I could just like smash it.
But
I'm just filled with
it's not going to be weathered as nicely. It's not going to look as good as you.
I'm just filled with so much rage. I bet you if I did smash my face into that brick, it would like break in half in my hands. Because I am just like.
You had to expect it.
Oh, speaking of bad news.
All the parts are there. It's just a repaint for them.
Speaking of bad news, may we have a moment of silence to remember Kenny Baker?
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Good call, for sure.
Yeah, R2-D2, man. That was a big loss. But you know what? Now that we're getting older,
Yeah.
This is gonna start happening, more and more.
Next is gonna be Princess
I
Leia.
don't know about that soon.
Don't
but-
jinx it there.
I know, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
She still has 2 more movies to make.
Yeah, she does. Maybe even more after that.
Yeah, we lost Kenny Baker. That's sad.
That was sad.
That's sad, but he had a long life.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome. He was awesome. Very cool. Very cool. So we will be talking to you guys soon. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you later.
May the force be with you.
Peace.